Live. Hi, guys. Aaron Heeg with O Wrestle. I am live today with Sam Hazewinkel, the head coach of the Oklahoma Regional Training Center. Sam,
That's
how
right.
are you doing today, man?
I'm doing really good. Did my intro music play in the background? Was it going strong? I hope everybody got to hear it. I picked out a great, just a great song. And
Yeah, it was awesome,
no,
dude. It brought me
it's
back to
going
the
really
80s,
good.
brother.
That's right. You had to, that's how we grew up. If
Yeah.
I the Tiger wasn't playing, you weren't in the finals,
That's
It was that
right.
simple.
That's right. Or there was the other song by AC/DC that
Yes,
ran through the
absolutely.
wrestling room, man. That's right.
Absolutely.
So you got your wonderful T-shirt on there, the Oklahoma
That's
Regional
right.
Training Center, and you're in your office down there at OU, or is that a different space you're in?
Yeah, I'm here in the training room. I spent a lot of time in the training room over the
Yeah,
years, and yeah, there's a hint for you young bucks. Spend time in the training room so you don't have to spend time in the training room.
that's
You
right,
do all the
dude.
preventive stuff. Get the ice baths, get the
That's
tape, do it
right.
all right so you're not in there having to do post injury stuff.
Yeah,
Get
that's
that
right.
preventative in.
Nip it in the bud beforehand. That's a discipline from probably the late middle school years to the high school years that a lot of athletes need to be educated in. The
Very much
importance
so.
of preventative training, man, the icing, the heat, all of that stuff is so important. I'm glad you actually brought that up, Sam.
Yeah, it's the sport's getting it's evolving, it's getting deeper. You don't have as many just easy matches as you used to.
That's right.
It's a lot deeper.
That's right.
We're learning how to fight, and so you have to be smart about that stuff. You don't want to be working hard to go get a scholarship and then injured junior senior year, and then coaches are kind of a little worried. Is he injury prone? You got to be smart about these things.
That is so good. Thank you for inserting that uh, beautiful piece of knowledge and
Yeah.
wisdom from the Sam Hazewinkel. Listen, man, tell us and our audience
Cue the
a
music.
little a little bit about your background. Where did you come from? How did you even come into the world of wrestling?
Yeah, I was born into it. But most Okies around here know my story. Born in Minnesota, moved to Oklahoma when I was 5 or 6, and wrestled here all the way till high school, and then did high school in Florida. But my dad was an Olympian. His twin brother was an Olympian, so I was kind of born into it. Never, I don't remember not wrestling. I don't remember like, this is when I started, and I loved it. I was one of four boys, and
Wow.
I loved
Were
it.
you the runt of the litter, or where did you come to at in the pecking order?
Yes and no. I was the third of four, but I was the smallest. It's the other thing. I never remember my little brother ever being smaller than me. He was always my size or bigger, and so I was kind of the runt. But
Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. I just took to wrestling. It always made sense to me, and I always enjoyed it. So
Hey, you say
it
it
made
made
sense
it,
to
it
keep in
make
it.
it makes sense to you. What does that mean? Wrestling made sense to you. That's an
I
interesting
just
comment.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it exactly. It was logical to me. Why,
Mm,
height wins. It made sense to me when I was a kid. Yeah, you're the higher guy. You're in the better position.
mm.
Uh, I don't know how to explain exactly, but you look for those guys when you're coaching, when you're recruiting. You want the guys that get it. Whatever it is, they get it. They got the flow. They had the feel.
Mm.
Um, and I was real fortunate. I always had the feel. It it I understood where the match was going, what was happening in the match. Uh, yeah, I feel blessed about that
Yeah, that's
for sure.
beautiful, man. It what went up what went off in my mind is that there's an intellectual dynamic to the sport of wrestling, and those that figure that out find the flow and the rhythm of that particular sport, almost like a chess match,
Yeah, very much so.
but it's
It
moving at an
what,
accelerated
what
pace.
Bruce Lee said, be water, right? Be water. You got to be a cup. You're a cup. You're bowl. You're a bowl. Yeah, be water.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was it like with you being a wrestler and your father being your coach? Tell me a little bit about what shaped you from that father-son kind of relationship growing up in the Hazewinkel clan?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe it's because I was the third of four boys. I don't know. It just always made sense to me that Dad made an Olympic team, so whatever he said must be right, and it made it easy for me. It was black and white. Height wins. Okay, I'm gonna get height. Grab here on the wrist. Okay, that's how you win. He knows what he's talking about, and so it made it easier for me. And then we're a very Christian family. We're very religious, and I very much was brought up to look through that filter, and I take biblical principles and add it into my wrestling, and I use wrestling for biblical stuff. If I'm having trouble with something, I think of how I would handle it with wrestling. I'd go see a coach, so I'll go talk with the pastor, and vice versa. The Bible says do everything with all your strength, all your mind. So if I'm gonna wrestle, I got to do it with all my strength. I got to do my sprints all the way. I got to use my mind. I got to get that chessboard going. And
man, that's so rich, dude.
Yeah, it's simpler that way when you keep it simple.
Keep it
At least it was
simple.
for me. Maybe I'm simple-minded. I don't know, but it worked out well for me.
That is so powerful. I love how you painted the picture of your father being this positive role model in your life. The principle is a biblical principle, but it comes to mind. We become like those we associate with. So you figured it out. Dad's an Olympian. I might want to be an Olympian one day, so I might as well hang around with him and let him mentor me. That is strategic, man. I love that.
It always made a lot of sense to me. We all hear it. I hear it all the time with like kids. Like, enjoy them when they're young because they're going to grow up. And I don't know, that made sense to me. So I'm trying to enjoy time with my kids when they're young. Like that, I figure I've heard it enough times. It must be true.
A wise man you are, Grasshopper.
Yeah, people I look up to smarter than me all say it. So I'm going to try to do it. And I try to do the same thing with wrestling. Like I hear enough people say, go lift weights. It's good for you. I'm going to go lift weights. All right. It must be good for you. Well, I don't necessarily need to figure it out on my own.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, that tells me, just a person that can receive instruction and then actually obey that instruction is a wise person.
Yeah, I hope so.
Obviously, we have to vet. We're not going to go do something stupid that somebody tells us to do. It's got to make sense and seem right, and then we go do it.
Yeah. The coaches are there for a reason,
That's right. Teachers are there for a reason.
Right.
There's authority structures that are in place. And the more athletes learn to listen to authority, the better they actually become if they're open to the learning process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I tell people all the time, the only sport that you can find in the Bible is wrestling. God wrestled with Jacob all night long and dislocated his hip, man.
That's right. I'm still trying to learn that move. When I learn that, I figure I'll win every Olympics.
I'm telling you what.
Touch it out, the hip goes. Getting closer. I can take a finger out of joint now, but I'm not yet. I can't figure out how to get the hip out yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. I always do this with my kids. I can pull the thumb off my hand.
There you go. See, getting closer.
Look at that. That's as close as I can get, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, so you grow up in this wrestling family, and then you find yourself wrestling at the collegiate level at the University of Oklahoma. How in the world did that happen?
Man, just wanted to get back to Oklahoma. Tion Ware, I grew up wrestling with him, and I was pretty sure he was going to go to OU, and so I said, Tion, let's go to OU. I'm like, let's make it happen. So I signed with OU. I knew I wanted to be in Oklahoma, and I did a recruiting trip, OU and OSU, and I really liked the guys at OU. They fit me a lot better. A lot more guys my style. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it better than that. And to that point, you guys that are looking, make sure, it's hard right now. You can't get on campuses. Do everything you can to meet the guys on a team, because you can learn a lot about the culture of a team, talking with the guys, getting to know them. Nowadays you got Snapchat and Twitter and everything else. There's ways to get a hold of the guys on the team and find out what they're like.
Yeah, well, that brings up from my perspective a very important component to the recruitment process and the vetting process that an athlete goes through in making his final selection. And that's the relational element. How are you relating to the members of that team? Do you feel a synergy in your relationship with the coach that's going to be your mentor, and in some cases, potentially a father figure in your life for the next 4 years, in some cases, 5 to 6? So
Sure.
that relational element is so important to take into consideration, like you're saying, to these athletes. How do you
Yeah.
reach out to your teammates, your potential teammates, and see if you feel an energy in your heart as you interact and communicate with your future teammates? That's powerful, Hazewinkel. I love that,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, you need it. You need it. There's some people that are workhorses, and you should go to a team that's a workhorse team.
That's right.
Some people want to have fun. Get to the team that has fun. You know, find the team that fits you, that has the same compass you do. You know, they're headed in the same direction. I don't.
That's good.
It's kind of hard to make relations sometimes. You know, it's a
Yeah.
little bit harder to do that. You're in another state or something. Same state, you can, but you can figure out pretty quick if people are on the same page as you. You know,
You
if they're
betcha.
headed in the same direction,
You
and
betcha.
that's important. They should do that. You know.
That's right. That's right. So after OU, what was your next step?
So
Olympics?
got married. Yeah, got married, and then married a few months and left for Colorado Springs. Did mine 9 months in Colorado Springs,
Uh-huh.
trying to make the 2008 Olympic team. And wife stayed here. She was in medical school. We both had our goals, and I wouldn't do it again, but I wouldn't change it either. It was good for us. It was real good for us. But ended up not making that team. Came back to Oklahoma for not very long, and then was offered a job in Ohio. Went there. Tiana and I both did. So we were still training, and we did a club team for a year, and that kind of fell apart. And I came back to OU, and Tion went off, I think maybe Penn State, train at Penn State. So then I did OU through 16, made the 2012 Olympic team. So in that time,
So you
switched
did
from
make the 2012 Olympic team.
made the 2012 Olympic team.
So through all that adversity that you went through from maybe 08 to 2016, you just kept moving forward and overcoming adversity to finally make the 2012 Olympic team, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Nothing
awesome,
in
dude.
wrestling's easy, nothing's easy.
That's right.
That was my third Olympic tryouts. I did 04, 08, and then made it in 12. And I kept moving forward. I loved wrestling. I was enjoying getting to travel the world. I was getting, paid to wrestle. And back then it wasn't a lot. You didn't get a lot to wrestle, but it was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an Olympian, and Oklahoma was the place for me. Leitner was here. He was always my coach in college. He made his world team while I was still in college in 05. And so he became my coach again and helped me get there, and switched over to freestyle, made the freestyle Olympic team. It was good. And so then a few more years and decided it was time to get into coaching. And I moved on to UCO in 16 or 17, moved to UCO.
The University of Central
there,
Oklahoma.
Yep. University of Central Oklahoma, D2. Todd Stidley had gotten the head coaching job. He's still the head coach there, and he brought me in with them and did 2 years as assistant coach. And loved it, absolutely loved it. And then the OCU job opened up, Oklahoma City University, which is NAIA. And so in 18, I took that job and made the world team about a week after I took the job. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was another one that I wouldn't do again, but
Glad you did it.
yeah, glad I did it. Everything was falling
Yeah.
together. That was a dream of mine to always make the Greco world team. My dad made a Greco Olympic team, 6 world teams. So that was a goal, a dream, and worked out where I could. And thankfully OCU worked with me. They let me do it. They didn't job or go to worlds, and they worked with me. And so I was there 2 years. It was awesome. Learned a lot. I can tell you I will be a way better coach now after being a head coach. I would be a much better assistant coach at UCO now that I've done it. It's was great experience. But OU opened up, the RTC job opened up, and Oklahoma's my home. You know, OU's my home. Man, I don't even know how many years I've been at OU. It's got to be 15 plus. So it was good to get back in here.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, before we step into just what you're envisioning for the Oklahoma Regional Training Center, I want to go back to Leitner.
Sure.
I hear you use his name frequently in our conversations. What kind of impact did Leitner have upon you as a wrestler?
It was huge. He was a big reason I came to OU. You know, I loved the guys, and I tried to wrestle at all my when I went to look at schools. I wanted to wrestle the guys, see how they were, and I beat up the guys at all the other schools. Everybody they put out, I beat them up, and came to OU and I got beat up. And I thought that's where I want to be then. Like that, they're good. They're better than me, you know. And so Leitner had won a national title, and he was the weight above me. So I thought that's perfect. And so that was a big reason I came. But once I got here, he was on a game plan to make a world team, and I wanted to make world and Olympic teams. You know, we were on the same plan, so it was easy. When he needed extra workouts, I wanted to get better, so I was the guy. I'd be over there helping him out, and we kind of, I don't know, hit it off, I guess, and it's worked out well for us. You know, it really has.
So now you're there. So now you're there at the Regional Training Center in Norman. Right. At the University of Oklahoma. What are you envisioning for the Regional Training Center? I know you work closely with Lou Roselli, head coach of the Sooners, on building this model that he's been accustomed to from the University of Ohio State. Tell us a little bit about that plan and that strategy that you guys are implementing there in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it's the big plan is we want guys that want to make Olympic teams. You know, we want those are the wrestlers we want. We don't we want guys that are aiming big, you know, because being an All-American wasn't even on my radar. Like I knew it would happen. National champs what I wanted, because that's the guys that make Olympic teams win national champs. And so that's what we're looking for here. And part of that is we got to have a way for them to be Olympians. So that's where the RTC comes in. And I'm very biased toward it. You know, that was like I said, it was part of the reason I came to OU. Michael was going to make Olympic teams. You know, he's going to make world teams. And I like that there was that opportunity, because that wasn't a thing. You know, you had to find a school to train for next to no money or go to the Olympic Training Center. And I'm an Okie. I love Oklahoma, and they had training here. So that's what I want to do. I want to be the path for guys to make the Olympic team. I want them to know, hey, you come to OU, you have a chance to keep chasing your dreams. If you want to, you know, if you want to get your education, you can get your education here. But if you're wanting to keep chasing Olympic goals, that's what we're all about. And it was a big part of my life, big part of my dad's life. You know, there's Dave Schultz, OU guy. You know, we got a long history of Olympians and guys making world teams and freestyle, Greco, you name it. So we got guys like Tate Piccolo coming in. You know, his dad was number 2 on the judo Olympic team. You know, he was that close to going in judo, and he's a bad man. That dude's good at a lot of different sports, you know, and his son is on the same track. Wow. You know, and I'm so excited to help him. You know, I want to be there. I wanted coaches like that. As I said earlier, like they've been there. I'm gonna hear their advice and take it, and that helped me. It helped my trajectory having those guys around. I'm hoping to be that guy for Tate and many others like that. We want to have that pipeline like we used to have, where we got guys on the world and Olympic team every cycle. You know, every 4 years we've had guys on the team, and there was a while there where every cycle we had somebody on the world team. In 2012, we had 2 OU guys on the Olympic team. You know, there's 7 guys on the team. We were the only college with 2 guys on the team.
Fantastic.
Myself and Jared Prayer, you know, we were both here at OU and we were on the team. And so we want to get back to that. I have a heart for it. And that's my goal here is getting guys on that world and Olympic team. And secondary to that is helping the state out. You know, I had help from Olympians when I was young. Thankfully, he's my dad, but I got to be around the best guys all the time. And Oklahoma's a good state for that. We're not a huge state. Everybody knows everybody, you know, and wrestling in general is very grassroots. And so I want to do my part to help the state get better, you know, and RTC is allowed to do that. We're colleges. There's so many rules nowadays for what you can and can't do. And RTCs give us a little freedom to give back, because wrestling's not that big yet. You know, you got to give back. You got to help out the next generation. I think Oklahoma, we can do that.
So I'm understanding that the primary focus of the Oklahoma Regional Training Center is to build Olympians starting right there at the university, but you have a focus to serve the greater wrestling community of Oklahoma as well. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Dude, I love it, Sam. I have so enjoyed my time with you today. You are a stud. You're a man's man, and I love you, brother. You have a good day, and I look forward to talking to you soon, big guy.
Yeah, we can talk anytime. You built me up. I'm ready to go into practice now. Let's go.
I'm ready to come with you, Hazewinkel.
I feel like 21 again. Let's go.
I love
ready
it.
To rock it.
You're a great dude. You're doing a great job down there in Norman. Keep up the good work, man.
You, Aaron.
5 years, we'll be spitting out all kinds of stuff, man.
Good.
Good job,
keep the
buddy.
videos coming. We love them. Across the state, we love them.
Thanks, man. Love you lots.
Appreciate it.